Over the weekend, President Trump endorsed a suggestion to create 50-year-long mortgages, 60% longer than the traditional 30-year mortgages, all as a part of an effort to combat higher home prices and interest rates. Well, that drew a lot of criticism after the increased cost to home buyers were actually calculated. KTVU's Tom Vakar joins us from San Rafael with those numbers and them pretty dramatic numbers, Tom.
Very interesting numbers. Now, though many people actually do inherit homes these days that have some mortgage on them, if this goes through, a lot more people would inherit those kinds of homes with a lot more debt on them. The president appears to think that a 50-year mortgage that's 600 monthly payments is worth it.
All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time. It's not even a big deal. I mean, you know, you go from 40 to 50 years.
For home buyers, it is a very big deal. We spoke with some Larkspur Ferry passengers.
I think it's kind of a crazy idea, in particular because of how much interest you pay over that entire life of the loan. So if it were me, I would not be interested in that.
Why pay even more than you have to? I mean, if you work it out over 30 years versus 50 years, I'm sure it's a lot more expensive for you.
Minor solution to a very major problem, particularly when you think about the additional interest you're paying over 50 years. It's completely not worth it.
Fifth Gabadian is Senior Vice President of Lending at Origin Point Lending, writing loans for a quarter century.
50 is brand new. Have not heard of it. This is completely new.
There is one major plus.
The advantage of the 50-year mortgage is that it reduces your monthly payments, so it's easier to qualify for a purchase of a house.
The payment is about 13% less expensive.
I think if you're lowering your monthly, you could possibly be freeing up more cash for other things and for other expenses that you may have.
But, says Gobadian, it's way more expensive in the long run. On a 30-year $1 million loan at 6% interest, you'd pay $2,160,000 in principal and interest, but over 50 years, the buyer pays $3,160,000, $1 million more. And you'll spend a lot more time underwater with a 50-year as you gather equity far slower. That's because payments in the early years go mostly to interest, not paying off the principal.
You don't want to keep this loan for that period. It's a starter loan to get you to qualify, and you want to get out of it.
In other words, refinance when rates go down for less interest and a shorter loan. And especially note this:
75% of people sell or refinance within the first 5 years.
Since most first-time home buyers now average 40 years of age, it would take until their early 90s to pay it off.
And it doesn't address the housing affordability crisis whatsoever.
Now, this is neither etched in stone or law, but when you think about it, 40-year loans are already available if you didn't know that. But this is a step much, much further. Claudine, back to you.
And Tom, as you just said, a lot of steps would have to happen and people would have to get behind it. Banks would have to feel comfortable giving those loans out. And so this may be a talking point, but we're really far off from actually ever seeing them being offered.
Well, I mean, it's possible banks would have to really assess if they want to have money out that long, and then they would also have to assess where those funds would come from and who'd be the investors in them and all of that stuff. So it's a very, very complex thing. And again, we have a tradition here of 30 years, and that's pretty much etched in stone at this point in time. So it would take some time to do some convincing.
All right. Tom Vakar reporting live tonight. Thank you, Tom.